Hey guys, I'm so happy that you are enjoying this pack with me this week. We're talking about French white wine, and this pack is the perfect wine for your summer entertaining. In this pack you'll find that we have put together a really top-notch selection and so many different styles of white wine that are sure to please all of your guests when entertaining. To start off, we're going to take a trip to Alsace and try a delicious Riesling from right in the northeast part of France on the German border. This Riesling is not sweet, so you'll need to tell your guests, don't worry, all Riesling is not sweet. Then we're going to go to the Bordeaux region of France. It's in the southwest. It's the sunny, and it produces both red and white, and actually sparkling and rosé too. But in this case, we're trying a Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon blend from Bordeaux. So you can tell all of your friends that Bordeaux does not have to be just red wine. We love the Rhone Valley, and I'm obsessed with the Rhone wines, both white and red. In this case, we're trying two grapes that you might not have heard of. One is called Marsanne and the other Roussanne. These grapes are often blended together and they kind of complete each other. And then last but not least, we're taking a trip to the Languedoc. This is a summer wine. This is Picpoul de Pinet. And it's a wine that you're going to want to drink and sip all year round, but especially when it's hot outside. You could say you have Picpoul by the pool. I know I'm very cheesy, but hope you enjoy. This wine is Michel Fonné Riesling Tradition. And Riesling in this case is coming from a region called Alsace on the border of Germany. Riesling can be very sweet. Sometimes you get some that are dessert style. Sometimes you get some with just a little bit of residual sugar, but not all Riesling as a grape has to be sweet, and especially when it comes from this beautiful part of France called Alsace. In this case, we have a pale straw with a little bit of green hues in the color. And the nose is just alive with stone fruit. The flavors of a stone fruit are things like apricots and peaches. You think about a fruit that has a pit. And in this glass, you also get a lot of floral. So it doesn't necessarily taste sweet. There's no residual sugar, but you might find like a white peach and a honeysuckle. And those things might remind you of sweetness. Wow. When you take a sip of this wine, the first thing that I think of is so much acid. This refreshing, sour, but not in a bad way, tart, crisp. My mouth is salivating. It's about a medium-bodied wine with tons of acidity, white peaches, apricot nectar, like this white flower, has a teeny bit of like a stony mineral, and some people call it petrol. This smell of almost like a tennis ball can or a sneaker, kind of like that, a little bit rubbery, which gives a lot of complexity to the wine. And the finish just keeps going and going. This is a perfect wine to serve with like grilled sausages if you want to drink some Riesling and feel like you're, inspired by the Alsace region, and or you could have spicy food, anything. Let's say you're having sushi or you're wanting Indian food. This is the perfect wine. It's not oaked and it's really delicious, lip smacking. I just love this label. It's so cool. It's really retro and just kind of, I don't know, it's so simple but so beautiful. So this is a wine from the Rhone Valley, and it's made from two grapes. The grapes are Marsanne and Roussanne, which are two grapes that grow really well in the Rhone Valley for white wine. And this is in the southeast part of France. If you think about just going from Burgundy and just going south, you'll be in the Rhone Valley. Rhone is a really amazing place for red wine, but also the white wines are great alternatives to Chardonnay. So when you're introducing people to new wines that they have not heard of, it's really nice to kind of set their mind at ease and give them an idea of what to expect. So body of the Chardonnay, but a little bit less, a little less tropical, more nutty, things like that. So in this wine we have a medium gold straw color. We have apples and pears, and they're really ripe and yellow, almost like even a little bit bruised. The nose though is so much nuts, like pistachios, almonds, just really just nutty, almost salty quality. You can almost imagine having like salted almonds and then smelling this wine. And the body's a rich style. Just at the end, you get that like saline, almost like nori, salty, it makes your mouth salivate, it makes you start to think about food. And this wine would be great with any kind of richer dishes. If you're making like a pasta sauce with cream, this would be perfect. Anything that you can think of that you want that little bit of salinity, that salty quality at the end, it's amazing for just drinking with dinner after a long day at the beach. Château Calvimont is a white wine from the Bordeaux region of the southwest part of France. And you might have heard of Bordeaux because it produces incredibly age-worthy red wines from the Cabernet grape and the Merlot grape and a bunch of others. But white Bordeaux, it's something that you really want to pay attention to. It is a great wine as an alternative to Chardonnay. Often it has this richer mouthfeel, but in this case, this is a blend of grapes called Semillon, 50%, 40% Sauvignon Blanc, and then 10% Sauvignon Gris. So you think about the Bordeaux grapes of Semillon, it gives this waxy characteristic to the wine, and Sauvignon Blanc is all of those exotic grapefruit aromas and citrus and fresh herbs. And then you get a little bit of the Sauvignon Gris just to round things out. So in this wine you have this medium gold color. It's a little bit of flecks of green as well. And you can smell this exotic papaya and guava and ripe ruby red grapefruit, as well as like a savory green mint, spearmint. It smells even like custard, you know, like a lemon meringue. It's not necessarily on the sweet side of the meringue, but like just that kind of really nice, intense, like curd. And when you take a sip, it has the ability to be both rich yet refreshing, which is what I love about white Bordeaux. The mouthfeel is, you know, medium full, but it has just like a brightness in the sides of your mouth, which is that grapefruit zest, and it really freshens things up. So you can have a rich wine, but you can have something that has like a really refreshing finish. And I love this wine with anything that you think of that you can make, like a cream sauce, or if you're doing like fluke with like a breading and you're making some kind of like fried fish, fish and chips, fish and like tartar sauce. It's that kind of rich enough wine to stand up to the breading, but also that sour quality really is acting like a lemon for any of those kind of things. I hope you enjoy it. One of the most undiscovered and exciting wine regions in France is a region called the Languedoc. And the Languedoc is just not far from the Rhone Valley, but it has its own unique grapes and styles of wine. And one of my favorites, especially for summer and warm weather, is a grape called Picpoul. And you often find Picpoul in a town called Pinet in the Languedoc. So in this case, we have this AOC, this regional wine, which is called Picpoul de Pinet. And it's from one of the best producers in the area. And this delicious wine, I think about being in the southern part of France. I just think this wine has so much exotic smells that you just keep wanting to smell it over and over again. That papaya, mango, salsa, that, you know, yellow apple, yellow peach. It's got like a nice floral aroma, honeysuckle and fresh like torn basil. Just so much going on in the glass. On the palate, on the mouth, it's like medium plus body, really rich and yet somehow again refreshing. You get this acid on the sides of your mouth. You feel like you keep wanting to take another sip because it's so exotic but so clean and refreshing. So about full-bodied for a white wine, has a little almost like tea-like quality, like just a gentle pulling, almost like a bitterness, which is not a bad thing. That's all. The wine spent 10 hours soaking with the juice and the skin, so you get some of the flavor and some of that tannin is probably too extreme to say, but like some of that pulling on your teeth as a result of the skin contact. So that's also why it has a little bit more gold colors in it. I really think Picpoul should be the wine for the pool all summer long. I'm so excited, and I'm happy to have been able to describe and to send you these 4 wines from France. I think we all need a little bit more exploration in our life and just to try new things. Even if they're not your favorite, it's one of the reasons that we put the weekly tasting together. This is all about discovery, and I love all of these wines equally, and I hope you do too. Follow us on social media at the weekly tasting, and I'm also at Laura Maniec. Let me know what you want to see in future packs, and we'll be sure to bring them to you.